My name is Caleb Creed, and I'm doing my project on Wells Fargo, which is the bank that I currently bank with. And first, I'd like to start off by going into the history of Wells Fargo. So, in 1849, California's economy took off, and that was because of the discovery of gold in California. So, this created a lot of demand for shipping, and that's when Henry Wells and William Fargo came into play. They could offer that to the people of that area in San Francisco. They joined up with investors in the New York area and came up with this bank called Wells Fargo and Company. And so then, later on into the future, it now operates in 35 countries, and it has 70 million customers globally, which is a crazy amount of people. They also merged with Northwest Corporation in 1998, and this is a company based out of Annapolis, Minnesota. Then in 2008, they had an acquisition of Wachovia. This also created a lot of people, a lot of consumers to join the bank. Next, I'll go into the products and services. There are several different products and services that a lot of other banks use, but they kind of diversify. So first of all is the checking and savings accounts. Most banks do offer this. This is one of the things that they do offer at Wells Fargo though. Also, they have personal checks and debit cards, which makes it easier to access your funds. Next is online banking. Some banks don't have this. A lot of local banks don't have this because of the technological advances, but it does make it a lot easier so you can access your information at your house and do all of your banking from home. Next is credit cards. They also have a lot of different kinds of loans you can take out. They also offer business insurance, retirement plans, and payroll plans. These are all business type services. The next section is based on relationships. Wells Fargo does a good job of greeting you at the door. I've learned that from banking there over the past 3 years. They will greet you with a smile, and they'll try to greet you by name if they can remember it. They do a good job of helping me manage my accounts, my checkings and savings accounts. I do have those at the moment, nothing else though. But the one issue that I have with Wells Fargo is it's hard to form a close-knit relationship with them because they're such a big global bank. I have banked with a local bank in the past, and you could walk in there and they would know you by name and give you a wave. But this is something Wells Fargo can't really do since they have so many customers. Next section is tellers executing transactions. Tellers count the cash out loud. This is something similar to what we learned in the textbook. They count out each dollar. And the next part that we learned from the textbook is strap the cash when it reaches a certain amount. That's something I have noticed at Wells Fargo because I work for tips at my job, so I can actually see them over the counter counting out the money and then strapping it when it reaches, say, for $100 for single $1 bills. That's when they'll strap it. Also, I've seen them ask for the ID of customers that seem a little unwary. If they don't seem like it might not be their account or something as such, they will check for their ID and make sure they're the right person. Next section is services offered. Foreign currency is one of them. That is a no service. There is no service fee for customers, and they back remaining currency when your trip is over. So if you're going overseas or anywhere else out of the country, they will, it's kind of like a traveler's check, and they will help you get money in that economy so you can spend the money there and not have to use US dollars. The next is the cashier's check. For people needing to make assured payments to someone they know, it will not bounce. And Wells Fargo charges a $10 fee for this, which seems a little hot at first, but it's really not too bad compared to the other banks. The next section is money orders. This is useful for people sending money through the mail. So you don't want your money to be sent through the mail in cash, because you always have a chance of being stolen, and you can't really claim who stole it because of course you're mailing it. So with a cashier's check, with the money order, you can kind of keep a track on it, and it's written out to a certain person so somebody else can't spend it. The next one is a safety deposit box. We all know what that kind of means. It's about keeping your belongings in a safe place that nobody can steal or harm them, and it's kind of kept up by the bank. They do have fees on these for different size boxes, but the fees are generally not that bad unless you do, when you want to take out your safety deposit belongings, you have to pay a fee, but it's not too bad unless you do not give the bank a 3-day notice. The next section is loan products. These are the different types of products that the bank loans out. The first one is mortgage loans. We all know what that means for housing. The next is auto loans, personal loans, student loans, and home equity lines. This is how I think Wells Fargo would handle a robbery if it was in my opinion. This is what I've seen and what I've learned through the textbook. I believe Wells Fargo would choose to take the safe route and follow the robber's orders. They don't want to put anybody else at harm, say the customers or themselves, so they would choose to obey the commands. If they had the chance and they felt safe enough, I believe they would insert die packs into the money and put bait cash in there to try to avoid losing so much money for the bank. Also, they would try to sound a silent alarm under the table if possible, but they would not compromise the safety of their other employees and customers if that's what it cost. The customer service that I've received from Wells Fargo has been generally good. I would say that the customer service, they attend to my needs mainly, and they get the job done. That's why I like them. But like I said earlier, it's not like a local bank where everybody knows you. But overall, the customer service has been efficient and acceptable. And that's my presentation.